a woman named Judy Malinowski testified at her own murder trial via video before she died and sent her ex-boyfriend to prison for life. This video uncovers the couple's most disturbing secret. It reveals the real reason why Judy set herself on fire at the Speedway gas station, leaving 95% of her body burned. A few minutes earlier, a black van can be seen speeding into the parking lot. A man in a red sweater gets out angrily and walks towards it. Notice the woman standing in the shade to the left. They appear to be arguing before the woman backs up and throws a soda at the man. The camera catches the man pouring something on her. Now pay attention to the next part. According to the man, he says he bent down to light the woman a cigarette and claims it was an accident. But you can clearly see him calmly backing away without calling for help. He doesn't seem to be panicking or in shock. He just backs away. On August 2, 2015, Bonnie, Judy's mother, received a call that no mother or father would ever want to receive. It was from the hospital, and she was told, "We have your daughter here. Come right away." Judy Malinowski, 31, was at a Speedway gas station in Columbus, Ohio, with her then-boyfriend, Michael Slager. Just after 5 p.m., following an argument, Judy was doused with gasoline and subsequently set on fire. Minutes later, she was rushed to Ohio University Wexner Medical Center, where she slipped into a coma. When Judy's mother arrived at the hospital, she had no idea what condition her daughter was in, but nothing could have prepared her for what she would see. The only thing she remembers is yelling to the nurses, "Tell me there's hope. Tell me there's hope." But they didn't tell her what every mother would want to hear. Judy had almost 95% of her body burned, and the equation that is based on the percentage of burns on the body and the age of the patient. In Judy's case, at 31 years old with over 90% burns, it left her with 110% mortality. Judy was unrecognizable. Minutes earlier, Bonnie passed by the room where her boyfriend Michael was staying, walked in and asked him where his daughter was. She will never forget the look on his face when she replied, "It was an accident. It was an accident." Bonnie didn't understand why there were police around Michael's bed, but before she could ask any more questions, an officer pulled her out of the room. While Judy lies in a coma, fighting for her life, Michael Slager, with burns on his hands, is questioned by detectives. The version he gives to the police casts doubt on what really happened. According to Michael, Judy had filled the truck's gas tank and accidentally spilled some on herself. He claimed that when he went to light a cigarette for her, she suddenly burst into flames. Her account suggests it was an accident, and without Judy's version, Michael seems innocent. One of the detectives was unwilling to settle for just one version of events. They were concerned that Judy might fail without leaving her testimony on the record. Chad Cohagen, determined to get more information, asked the doctors and nurses to wake her from her induced coma for questioning. At the investigators' request, Judy was brought out of the artificial coma. The nurse begins the interrogation by making sure that Judy was not suffering too much from as much pain as she could feel. "Judy, can you hear me?" She raises her arm. "If so, yes," she replies. "Are you in pain right now?" "Yes." Then she continues, "Okay. Would you mind if someone asked you a couple of questions about what happened?" Detective Cohagen approaches Judy. "This is Detective Cohagen. Can you hear me?" "Yes," Judy responds again. "Judy, did you spill gasoline on yourself?" "No." "Did Michael spill gasoline on you?" "Yes," she confirms. Judy nods twice, showing that she fully understands what is going on around her. With this response, the police get the key information they needed to move the investigation forward and decide to proceed with the arrest immediately. In addition to Judy's crucial statement, the police discover compelling evidence. The entire scene had been captured on a nearby ATM camera. Investigators review the footage, which clearly shows Michael pouring gasoline over her head. In situations like this, people usually don't survive more than a few days. However, Judy defied the odds and continued to fight for her life month after month. As she goes through an endless series of surgeries and remains unconscious, her mother faces the uncertainty of whether she will ever wake up. But Judy didn't plan to give up so easily, having 2 little girls and a stalwart mother by her side. One day, against all odds, Judy awakens from her coma, confused and terrified. She has no idea what happened after the fire or how much time has passed. It is explained to her that her boyfriend, Michael, is in jail for what he did to her, and surprisingly, at that moment, she feels compassion for him. Despite her concern for Michael, fear comes over her, knowing what he is capable of. However, what Judy is unaware of is that Michael has shown no remorse for his actions, nor has he shown concern for her well-being. Judy grew up in Columbus, a small town in Ohio County, with her 2 brothers and a typical Midwestern working family. During her youth, she was a cheerleader for the high school soccer team and even went on to win beauty pageants at the town's summer festivities. However, her life changed drastically in 2006 when she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Judy underwent a total hysterectomy, and to alleviate the post-operative pain, she began taking painkillers. What started as a medical treatment ended up turning into an opioid addiction when she was in her early 20s. Judy realized she needed help, so she made the difficult decision to leave her daughters in the care of their grandmother so she could enter rehab and treat her drug addiction. She was determined to get back on the right track to be with her daughters, and she said she was doing the best thing she had ever done. However, it all began to fall apart when Michael appeared on the scene. In 2015, Michael Slager began messaging Judy on Facebook, declaring his love for her and slowly winning her affection. They shared not only their relationship, but also their addictions. He provided her with drugs to keep her under his control. However, this was not all. Michael had a dark past, with a criminal record that included accusations of domestic violence, assault, among others. Although Judy met Michael through a group of mutual friends, she had no idea who he really was. In the months that follow, Judy is confronted with the true personality of Michael Slager, who begins to essentially abuse her. Despite her efforts to leave him and escape, Michael always managed to find a way to bring her back. Finally, in December 2016, the trial began. Since Judy is still alive, Michael faces charges only for aggravated arson and criminal assault. Despite this, he continues to insist on his innocence. The judge sentenced him to 11 years in prison, the maximum sentence Michael could receive. But Judy feels he did not get the justice he deserved. More than a year and a half after the attack, Judy strives daily for the love of her daughters and her mother, seeking justice that would lead to a life sentence by changing the law to increase the maximum penalty for intentionally disfiguring someone to 20 years. Part of her wants to succeed and live to support all women who have faced similar experiences, willing to do whatever it takes. But it becomes clear that Judy probably wouldn't survive long. She remains bedridden, while the doctors concentrate on ensuring that she feels as little pain as possible. As the possibility of a murder trial becomes increasingly real, Judy and her mother, Bonnie, receive a proposal from the prosecutors. They approach Judy with the idea that she would testify about her own murder, which represents a considerable risk as it had never been done before. No one had ever testified in a trial about their own homicide in the United States. However, in order for Judy to have full mental capacity, it will be necessary to withdraw her pain medication. Thus, Judy Malinowski would have the opportunity to testify about her own death at the trial of her alleged killer, a case that has brought worldwide attention. Judy Malinowski passed away on June 27, 2017, having fought for her life for nearly 700 days. She leaves behind her 2 young daughters, as well as her siblings and mother. Los Angeles District Attorney Ron O'Brien reports that Michael now faces murder charges and could face the death penalty. Finally, on July 5, 2018, the courtroom prepares for Judy Malinowski's 3-hour testimony. Her mother, Bonnie, and daughters, Kaylin and Madison, are in attendance. No one has seen her statement, as it was recorded behind closed doors, and everyone is looking forward to hearing Judy's story. Slager avoids the death penalty thanks to Judy's desire not to seek revenge, but justice. However, she is successful in receiving a life sentence and will spend the rest of her life in prison. Her mother says, "I am so proud of her, and I know that someday she will see her again, and that our fight was not in vain, as she so much wanted." If you like the case, don't forget to like it and turn on the little bell so you don't miss any other story. Until the next case.